Hey, what's up? It's Phoenix and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I encourage you to hit that like button, to subscribe for more quality content, and to share with your friends. I also encourage you to check out the playlist tab for more videos and to check out my books on my author page. I will put the link in the description. I am Phoenix, and today I would like to talk about the influence of Black Sabbath in terms of their music itself, as well as the music that I've gotten to enjoy to play on the guitar. So without further ado, let's dive right in. This is part of my ongoing rock and metal series, which I'm very excited to be able to do. So yeah, check out the other videos in the series and let's dive right in. Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath is iconic. A lot of people know who Black Sabbath is, even if they don't listen to them. Black Sabbath might be a little bit controversial when thinking about their subject matter or their sound, their heaviness, but I myself love heavy metal, and so part of my understanding of thinking about music often encourages me to understand the roots of certain types of music. So for example, for rock, we can definitely enjoy people like Pink Floyd and Jimi Hendrix, and we can appreciate musicians for making their quality music. But for specifically heavy metal, which I really like, I have been thinking a lot about Black Sabbath, and I've been able to play them on guitar. It is very clear that Black Sabbath has literally pioneered heavy metal. The band formed in 1968, and so there's definitely something to be said about their influence throughout the later half of the 20th century, moving up into the 21st century, and how much influence they had in heavy metal for changing the game and basically creating a new genre. And Black Sabbath, of course, aren't the only musicians who are credited for pioneering heavy metal. Those descriptions, or such a honor, also goes to bands like Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple. But it is very interesting to think about Black Sabbath, and I have enjoyed thinking about Black Sabbath because I have been playing them on the guitar, and I've definitely enjoyed doing that. And so it's definitely given me an appreciation for them. So, for instance, as I said, I have been working on playing their music. I've played their song Paranoid. I've played their song Iron Man. And I'm currently working on their song War Pigs, interpolating Luke's Wall. And I've been enjoying learning this song, specifically the War Pigs song. And so I was and am very fascinated by the solo that I'm currently learning for the song. So basically there's the first part of the song, which is basically the War Pigs part. Then there is the, I would describe, solo. And then you can also play their later aspects of the song. And I find it really interesting to focus on their solo. I like playing solos, and I've been thinking about solos and how they influence music and how they've influenced music throughout time. So for instance, I've enjoyed playing Nirvana solo. But with thinking about Black Sabbath and with thinking about their solo, it's very interesting thinking about the techniques that they use. And I definitely enjoy playing their music, and it's kind of I would describe a very fun experience to be able to explore such an iconic element of heavy metal, which is the solo. Granted, solos were less popular, or I would say less used by musicians later on with bands that were forming nu metal, as an example, so in the early 2000s. But it does seem to me that the solo is very much alive and well in the music of Black Sabbath and in heavy metal albums and musicians that play later on in the 20th century. So I would describe the playing of Black Sabbath as being very iconic, and one of the elements that is very iconic is what you could call the power chord, which you can find it in punk music, but you also find it in heavy metal, and you find the power chord utilized very intelligently in the music of Black Sabbath. One of their most iconic riffages as you could call it, or riffs, is in Iron Man, which is the sound da na 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 da na 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 na. And that sound specifically is very iconic, and that is basically a power chord. you're playing a power chord on the first two strings, so E and A, and you're playing the power chord in that way. And it's really exciting to be able to play it because you can literally slide your fingers on the power chord to be able to make a specific sound. I would like to play that, but I wouldn't want to deal with copyright strikes. But you can definitely listen to the song yourself and imagine the technique of sliding your hand across the power chord. And so power chords are definitely iconic in metal music. It's identified as the root and the fifth, and it's identified as being a heavy sound and as being the chord that a lot of musicians really utilize. And so it's interesting to think of the influence of the power chord on bands such as Black Sabbath and seeing how they utilize the power chord and how they make the sound that they make. I don't want to get too much into music theory, but I wanted to describe this as one of the elements that I definitely think is very much alive and well in metal and in Black Sabbath and in me playing Black Sabbath on guitar. And I myself very much enjoy the power chord because I like the sound that it creates. So it's very interesting to see the variety of techniques that these bands like Black Sabbath use. And so aside from the power chords and aside from the music theory of playing Black Sabbath on guitar, there is also Iron Man, and which I've talked about, but it is interesting to think about the opening technique of Iron Man, which is literally bending the strings on the head, where you actually can tune. It's kind of a little bit complicated to describe, but if you're looking at a guitar and you have the head, you have the strings that are tied on to the guitar, and you can bend those to get an interesting sound. And that's how you get that dun sound. And it's very, very interesting to play. And so Iron Man itself is, I think, a very iconic song in metal. And one of the reasons why I think it is so iconic is because it really pioneered these techniques that I'm talking about. And you're able to create these very heavy sounds by utilizing the electric guitar in a very interesting and specific way. And so it's very interesting to think about how they are able to create their music through guitar. Specifically Tony Iommi and the way that he's able to utilize his techniques to be able to make interesting music. Now for me, I very much appreciate playing their music. I have continually wanted to learn about metal, and so I've been playing a lot of different metal songs. And one of the bands that has come up is definitely Black Sabbath for their influence. And it's very interesting to play their music, and I appreciate it because it gets me in touch with the roots of metal music, and I don't think there's anything more raw and primal than that. There are a lot of complexities in songs, especially in metal, because it is a very technical genre. There are many things I'm not able to do at this point on guitar because they are very difficult concepts to utilize and to implement. But I do enjoy playing Black Sabbath, and even though they have very difficult techniques, I find them to be a little bit more accessible on guitar, and so I like playing their music. And honestly, playing their music, even though I always had an appreciation for Black Sabbath, I think I have more and more of an appreciation for Black Sabbath with playing them on guitar, because they are I would say Tony Iommi is a very dynamic player, and it's very interesting how he utilizes his techniques and utilizes music to be able to get the sounds that he does. I find it very interesting. And so I very much enjoy playing Black Sabbath because I think that they give a very interesting quality to music and to playing music, and I really like that. There is a lot of iconic riffage throughout Black Sabbath's Au Revoir, and I would say that Paranoid is probably my favorite album that I've listened to by them and really enjoyed. Paranoid, of which has 3 songs that I've played: Iron Man, Paranoid, and also War Pigs, which I'm learning now. And so yeah, so one way that I really see music as being valuable is by thinking about the way in which it influences whenever we are playing music and learning music. And one of the reasons why I'm so excited to play Black Sabbath is because they really are one of the forerunners of metal. And so you're able to learn a lot of different things by getting these quality sounds and being able to play, as I said earlier, the power chords, being able to play these specific chords and being able to learn solos, and it is very interesting to think about. So yeah, I'm Phoenix, and I hope that you enjoyed this talk. Black Sabbath is very iconic to me with thinking about their influence, and I definitely enjoy listening to them and playing them, and I do think that I have an appreciation for them that I might not have had before because I've been able to learn, I've been able to learn metal music, and I've been able to play Black Sabbath. So yeah, definitely check out Black Sabbath if you haven't, and if they're not quite your cup of tea, I understand, but I think that you can still appreciate the musicianship of their music, and I'm very excited that I've been able to play their music. So yeah, I'm Phoenix, and thank you for stopping by today on my channel. There will be much more content to come, so I urge you to keep a lookout. I'm Phoenix, and thank you for watching. I will see you next time.